Alright guys, I want to welcome you all back to more Trails to Azure. I know you all have been noticing that I haven't been updating in the usual scheduling that I tend to do, which is almost always every day, 3 videos a day of sorts, or maybe even 2, but it's probably because, okay, not probably, it is because of work. So with my work scheduling changing every now and then, it's keeping me from uploading and recording, so that's the reason why, and you'll probably be seeing more erratic uploads on my part every now and then, so I won't be able to do my standard scheduling for a good while. So that's my I'm just giving you an update as to why you've been seeing like maybe 1 or 2 videos every 2 or 3 days. I'm gonna try and upload as much as I can like I usually do, but until my schedule gets a little stable, I'll probably be going through with this type of erratic uploading for a while. So be patient with me guys, and I'll try and make it gaming upload schedule as, I guess, stable as I can. But if anything guys, we're going to continue on with this game and yeah, follow through where we last left off. So let's continue on, and thank you for your patience. Let's do this. Alright everyone, welcome back again. We are now currently in Belgard Gate because there's one other thing I need to take care of first, and then we'll move on to a hidden quest that I just found out about. So let's head over to Meryl's. I believe she might be in this floor. And I was right. How's it hanging, Warrant Officer Meryl? Working hard or hardly working? You know very well the answer to that question. Honestly, Randy, I told you just the other day that I was promoted to second lieutenant. Ignore him. Congratulations on your promotion. Thank you, Sergeant Major. It feels nice to be moving up, but it also means I'm going to be saddled with additional responsibilities. I just have to buckle down and apply myself even more from here on out. Even more? Like you aren't walking around with a stun halberd up your butt already. You're going to be burned out if you keep that up. You gotta learn how to chillax, be as cool as the other side of the pillow. I don't recall asking for life advice from the local moron, Randy, but thank you for spoiling our pleasant conversation. Promotion or not, some things are never gonna change, huh? Oh, that was it? I thought it was gonna be like a little cut scene, but alright, well, there's that. Alright, now we're gonna take care of a hidden quest that I found out about. Either way. Alright, let's head back with our car back to Crossbell.
Yosh, 行くか。どこに行こうかな。
Home.
さあ、行くぞ。到着だ。
Alright, first things first, Administrative District. And we head over to the CSPD. Because that's where it is. Oh, hold on a second, let me make sure. Show notebook. Yes! It looks to me like you've been hard at work filling out your combat notebook. I'd like to record your information into our database. Mind if I see it for a minute? With pleasure. Thank you very much. Here's your notebook back. And please accept this as a compensation for your hard work. 500 Mira? Just 1 U material? I'm feeling a little spoiled, man. I feel like there should be more to it than this. Don't forget to stop by once you've collected more monster data, okay? Thanks, we will. Of course, we'll keep you updated. Alright, wait. Do I need to check? No, I haven't gotten any new DG stuff, so. Vice Commissioner Pierre. Ah, Margaret, how could you do this to me? You never had eyes for other men before. What changed? I have to do something before I lose her for good. I must. It's Vice Commissioner Pierre. Not often you see him on the first floor. It looks like something's troubling him. The Triple S? How long have you all been standing there? Don't tell me you heard what I was saying just now. Well, we didn't catch anything specific, if that makes you feel better. Though you did mention something about a Margaret having eyes for other men. Ooh, could that be the name of your favorite hostess, Vice Commissioner? How dare you! You watch your slanderous mouth. Margaret is the name of my missus. Missus? You mean your wife? Yes, you fool! Between losing my wedding ring and being passed over for the role of commissioner, she's been nagging me like never before. Wait, what am I doing telling you all this? That's right, the Vice Commissioner came off as pretty whipped when he lost his ring. That was months ago, but from the sound of things, it's still giving him grief. So be it, I have no other choice. Beggars can't be choosers at times like these. Look alive, Triple S, I'm giving you a top secret mission straight from your Vice Commissioner. Top secret? What are you talking about? I'll be frank, I would like for you to investigate my wife. Wow. You want us to look into your old lady? Would utilizing your position for private matters not violate department policy? You let me worry about department policy. Time is of the essence here. Consider it a formal support request or whatever they're called, if it makes you feel better. Now what do you say? I guess we could. What should we do? Help the poor guy out? We aren't marriage counselors. Okay, you clearly need a hand, so can you start over from the beginning? You really helped me then? Good. I'll tell you everything you need to know, but not out in the open. Follow me up to my office, we can discuss the details there. Your wife has been seeing a host? That's right. As I understand it, she's been going to several such clubs lately. However, there's one host in particular whom she's been meeting with in secret. And you're positive this man is a host? I was about to ask the same thing. Don't you think you should have a little more faith in your wife? I do, but I decided to risk it all to find out for sure. That's how I came across the evidence in her purse. Margaret is meeting with a mystery man named Clyde. It was right there in her daily planner. What kind of man has a name like that? It's a stage name. He has to be a host. I wouldn't call that irrefutable, but I won't say he's categorically wrong either. Dude's grasping for every straw he can find. So you think she's seeing a host, do you? Sorry to tell you, but I've never heard of one who goes by Clyde, and believe me, I would've. What? Seriously, Wazzy? Hey, it's a social business, generally speaking. I know the names of all the hosts working the clubs in the entertainment district. I can't rule out the chance that he's some rookie who slipped my notice, though. Wait just a minute. You seem awfully knowledgeable about all this. Don't tell me you're the new addition to the Triple S. The one who is, in fact, the host? Why, yes. You scoundrel! You're a member of the police force. What would people say if they found out what you did off duty? Please try to calm down, Vice Commissioner. What matters right now is figuring out what exactly your wife has been up to. That's right. And trust us, we've already tried to lecture him on that particular issue. There's no getting through to him. Their words, not mine. Back on topic, you mentioned searching through your wife's purse, correct? Not that I condone the act, but did you find anything else that might benefit our investigation? Well, let me think. Now I remember. Her appointment reminders also had a location penciled in alongside them. Apparently she's been visiting the restaurant in Central Square almost every afternoon. The restaurant square, you mean Vincept? If this Clyde truly is a host, why would he meet your wife in broad daylight? It's not uncommon. Little secret tryst while the husband's at work. It happens more often than you'd think. Plenty of hosts have regulars they only meet with during the day. Then I'm right, aren't I? Again, Vice Commissioner, settle down. And could you stop riling him up on purpose, Wazzy? Who, me? Oh, I'd never. At any rate, I think we have a good grasp of the situation now. Would you mind stepping back and leaving the investigation to us? Fine, whatever you think is best. Just make sure you get to the bottom of this. But do so with the utmost discretion. Am I clear? Understood. We'll get right on it. Man, I can't believe he agreed to this. To be fair, the Vice Commissioner did seem genuinely concerned about his wife. I think it's worth investigating until we see the truth of the matter for ourselves. If we must. So, where should we begin? Let's try the restaurant in Central Square first. If his wife has been there with this alleged host often, we might be able to get some information from the two directly. That sounds like as good a place to start as any. Shall we be off? Why is he so into this? Probably because he too is a host and he's curious. Curious by nature. Alright, here we go. Central Square. Alright, they said Vincept. Is that it? So it should be this, right, this one. Look. You have a keen eye, Margaret. Forgive me if I'm being out of line, but you truly are wasted on your husband. Oh, Clyde, you always have such a way with words. That's the man we were told about, and sure enough, he's with the Vice Commissioner's wife. So this is Clyde, is it? He doesn't look like any host I've ever met before. We should grab a seat nearby so we don't call any attention to ourselves. There's a chance we'll manage to find something out. Understood. Let's put up and sit at different tables then. Oh yes, I looked over the pamphlet from before, and after seeing those photos, well, I just about fell in love on the spot. Did you now? Perhaps the two of us could go and visit sometime then. If you'd like, I could even arrange for a room at the hotel. Oh, no, there's no need for that. I've already gone. The view was just magnificent, not a single thing to complain about. That's wonderful. And it certainly simplifies things too. Now we can move the plans forward a bit and... They do seem comfortable around each other. It sounds like they're planning a trip to Michelin together. Still, something seems off. To start, the guy's being way too much of a kiss ass. We still don't have any decisive evidence yet though. Let's keep listening in then. Well now, with that out of the way, I'll just be excusing myself. Of course. Oh, and I'll see you again at the club? At New Blanc in the entertainment district? Yes, you can expect me there, ma'am. I wouldn't want to keep you from what you've been dreaming of any longer than necessary. I can hardly wait. I guess the date's over. What should we do, Lloyd? We have yet to find out anything concrete. Let's keep tailing them. Randy, Wazzy, and I will go after Clyde. Ellie, Tio, and Noel, you three follow Margaret. Make sure you don't get spotted no matter what. Understood. Let's blow this joint. Things are heating up nicely. Sorry to keep you waiting, Clyde. I brought what we discussed. A briefcase, of course. Ah, yes, thank you very much, sir. So, how did things go? Very well, actually. She's been quite enthusiastic about the idea. We'll be closing the deal later at New Blanc. That's good to hear. Well, it's almost time for the next cruise ship to leave. I'll head back to Michelin and make sure everything is in order. It's all up to you now, Clyde. Secure this contract and I'll rocket you straight to the top of the firm. I won't let you down, sir. Okay, Clyde, you got this. I don't know, he seems like an ordinary businessman, if anything. There he goes. The guy sure is fired up. And from the sound of it, he's meeting up with the Vice Commissioner's wife at New Blanc. What should we do now? No need to keep telling him now that we got what we need, right? Yeah, let's contact Ellie and the others. We should regroup at police headquarters for now. I think we have just enough to nail down who this Clyde person really is. Afterward, Lloyd contacted Ellie and the others who had started shadowing the Vice Commissioner's wife. They decided to meet at the police department to relay the information to the Vice Commissioner. Well, how did the investigation go? Has my wife been having an affair with a host or what? Please calm down, Vice Commissioner. Ellie, what happened when you trailed Miss Margaret? Well, we watched her as closely as we could, but we didn't really notice anything out of the ordinary. She eventually went back home to the residential district, and she didn't meet anyone else on the way. However, she does plan to meet this Clyde person at New Blanc later. What? What does he think he's doing, taking my wife to a seedy place like that? Oh, that's the last straw. I'll assemble an entire SWAT team and storm New Blanc. I told you to calm down, Vice Commissioner. Last thing you want to do is send armed officers there, considering who owns the place. Well, what am I supposed to do then? For every second we waste, that host gets closer to sinking his lecherous fangs into my Margaret. I don't think you have to worry about her falling prey like that. At least, not as far as hosts are concerned. What do you mean? Wazzy had it figured out from the start, but I don't think this Clyde is a host at all. Pardon me? Well, if he isn't a host, then what in Adios' name is he? He's a salesman. He's not a host, he's not a con artist. From what we could tell, Clyde is most likely a salesman. A salesman? Going off his speech patterns, it did sound like he wanted to sell something, just not his body or a good time. Exactly, his attitude in itself is proof that he's anything but a host. Gentlemen such as myself work hard to give lonely madams a brief reprieve from their otherwise painfully mundane lives. A top-class host escorts his lady with courtesy, but he would never humble himself more than necessary. We aren't there to grovel. I don't know if I put it quite like Quasi did, but my conclusion is more or less the same. From what I could tell, Clyde and your wife didn't look at all like they were having an affair. If pushed, I'd say they came off as more as a buyer and seller. That's the impression I got anyway. Seeing as they've met several times now, it wouldn't be unreasonable to say they're working out a business deal of some kind. Even if all this is true, just what sort of purchase is he sweet-talking my wife into? Well, if we keep running with this theory, I think we can figure out what kind of salesman he is. Clyde most likely deals in jewelry, real estate, stocks, and bonds. Definitely not jewelry. I would actually say real estate. So he was trying to sell her a property? Now that you mention it, Michelin came up during their conversation at Vincept. At first I thought it was about vacation, but the pamphlet suggested otherwise. Yeah, it was probably promoting upscale properties for sale in Michelin. Plus, after we tailed him to the Harbor District, Clyde received something from a man in a suit. That's right, the way they spoke to each other gave me the sense that it was his boss. He might have been delivering him a contact of some sort that needed her signature. If we piece all this together, Clyde is a real estate agent who's been in talks with your wife about buying property. And it's going along smoothly. Miss Margaret was so receptive she even went to Michelin herself to scope out the location. Assuming this is all true, it would explain why she's been meeting with this man so often. Hey, yeah, it's all starting to fall into place. And today they entered the final negotiations, which means the contract will be signed during their meeting at New Blanc. Yes, I think I get the gist of it now. Wait just a second. That would mean Margaret is trying to buy property in Michelin without even consulting me, wouldn't it? I'm not made of money. Does she know how little a vice commissioner makes? Just how does that woman expect to scrounge up that kind of mirror? Maybe she took out a loan? That's a possibility. He may have even convinced her to take out an unreasonably large one. This is worse than I could have imagined. I know what I must do. I'm going to storm into New Blanc myself. I am not going to let this shark swindle my wife right underneath my nose. I'll give this Clyde fella a piece of my mind and drag Margaret out there if this is the last thing I do. Thus spoke the henpecked husband. I feel like we just flipped some horrible switch inside of him. I'll tell you what, we're already here, so why don't we all go and lend you a hand? It wouldn't be wise to charge you to New Blanc all by your lonesome, don't you think? I can't argue with that, but is that really a reason you want to go? You have a real penchant for chasing drama, you know that, Wazzy? I haven't the slightest clue what you mean. Regardless, if we don't hold them back, I highly doubt anyone else will. Yeah, we don't got much choice. I'm not too stoked about it, but I think I can get us into the place. My old pal Zax is probably on bouncer duty at the door right about now. What the devils are you all mumbling about over there? I'm headed for New Blanc and you're coming with me. That's final. Yes, sir. And that's what's up. Think you can let us squeeze on by, Zax? Oh, and we'll want to keep this a secret from Shirley and Uncle Sigmund, but I'm sure you already knew that part. I was just wondering when you'd show up again. Didn't think you'd be as an errand boy, though. You really have lost your touch, huh, Commander Randolph? Just like the young miss said. Stop calling me that already. I guess Randy must know this Jaeger. Alright, I'll look the other way this once. Think of it as a little favor from me to you. Just don't stir up any trouble inside, got it? I won't say a peep to the young miss or the vice leader either. Sound good? Just dandy. Well, I played my part. Looks like they haven't arrived yet, so you'd better get inside if you're gonna ambush them. I think I'm gonna sit this one out, though. That's fine. We should keep a lower profile anyway. Well, I'm going in one way or another. Now decide amongst yourselves who else will be joining me. Someone's worked up about this. His bravado has carried him too far to back down now. I'll go. I've been looking forward to this since we took his request. The Vice Commissioner, Lloyd, and myself should be plenty, yes? That should work. The rest of us will remain here on standby then. Make sure to contact us with your enigmas if you need backup. Will do. Okay, you two, let's head inside. Yes, in we go. Okay, we requested that your wife and that man be seated at the table over here once they enter the club. I see. That'll do just fine. And if it turns out he really is some crooked real estate agent, I'll see to his arrest myself. Believe me when I say I'd love to see that. Uh-huh. Don't look now, but I think that's them over there. Excuse me, I have a reservation for 2 under Clyde. Ah, yes, right this way, sir. My, but this is a fancy club. Oh, this is your first time visiting Margaret? I would think you've already seen everything Crossbow has to offer with your husband so high up in the police. Oh please, that's a riot. He may be the vice commissioner, but his salary is peanuts. He'd much rather drink the night away with some hostess in a dingy bar than take his own wife out to dinner. My apologies then. It may only be noon, but allow me to kickstart the proceedings by buying you a drink. I'd be happy to accept. Don't worry, Vice Commissioner. Quiet, you. I don't need you telling me what to do. Huh. So what if this snooty little tape room is beyond my means? Tape room? Oh, tap room. A dingy bar suits me better. What's so wrong with that? Nothing besides your overwhelming inferiority complex. Bringing him with us was a mistake. Shall we get down to business then? Clyde retrieved what appeared to be a contract from his briefcase. As you requested, the purchase agreement for the villa in Michelin's residential area. Simply sign your name on the dotted line and it's all yours. Oh, I've been waiting for this moment. I would be more than happy to sign. We were right. It's a contract for our property at the resort. So what's the plan now? We still haven't learned whether this is a deal is on the up and up or not. Stay. Stay away from my wife, you charlatan! What? Pierre? Oh no. This can only go well. What in the world are you doing here? Cancel this deal at once, Margaret. This crooked realtor is swindling you. I beg your pardon. Now hold on just a moment. Crooked? I haven't done anything wrong in the least. Oh, funny joke comedy, man. You can't fool me. Pierre? You're whining and dining my wife, buttering her up, taking some kind of ridiculous loan on this property, aren't you? Pierre? It'll be a cold day in Gehenna before I let you sink your grubby claws into us like that. Pierre? Stay silent, woman. As the CPD's vice commissioner, Uh-oh. Pierre! I'm sorry, Snookums. That was the quickest surrender I've ever seen. Did you hear that whip crack? You go, Margaret. Goddess, how do I put up with you? You're supposed to be a vice commissioner. How could you so blindly jump to the wrong conclusion and treat this man like a criminal? Have you no shame? Well... I'm sorry, please forgive me. Hold on. Are you saying this is all a misunderstanding? Wait, it is? Well, now I'm hooked. Go on, Margaret. Spill the tea and don't leave a drop. Very well. First, Clyde here is a respectable realtor who deals in luxury properties. Your assessment was wrong to begin with. There's nothing crooked about him at all. But I don't understand. We don't have nearly enough funds to split for something like that. Actually, I recently took up trading stocks in my spare time and I've been making a tidy profit ever since. These past few days have earned more than your salary could in half a decade. Stocks? To be honest, my patience with you has reached its limit. You're a pitiful man who can hardly look his own wife in the eye. Even your position was only earned through luck and connections. And I don't know if it's just you, so you can avoid being at home with me, but your late night drinking binges are straining our finances. You were in a much better mood when you thought you were the next commissioner in line after the old one was dismissed. But then the other vice commissioner was chosen over you. Your sour grapes have made you grouse and complain incessantly ever since. Isn't that a little harsh, ma'am? Quite honestly, I didn't think I could live with you any longer. Oh, uh-oh. That was the reason I consulted Clyde. I hope to use my earnings to purchase a home for myself. The plan was to separate from you before eventually filing for a divorce, originally, that is. God! Out come the claws. Now it's getting good. Were you born without the ability to feel compassion? Wait, did you just say originally? Huh? I did. You organized all of this because you were afraid of losing me, didn't you? Up to now, you've been too afraid of me to step foot in the house. I'm impressed that you went through I'm surprised you went through with all of this. So tonight, I want you to come home so that we can sit down and talk this through together. Margaret! I'm very sorry, Clyde, but we're gonna have to put this purchase on hold. That can't be, Margaret. We were so close. It's not as if I canceled the deal entirely, but it was wrong of me to negotiate alone. I look forward to discussing this again in the future. This girl is very mature, and Pierre doesn't deserve her at all. Pierre and I may not be separating, but the property still interests me. I'm sure I'll purchase it eventually. I would have preferred to close the deal today, but I suppose I can't force you to sign a contract. I'll just excuse myself then. You also gotta feel bad for this guy here. Clyde. It turns out Clyde wasn't guilty of anything in the end. Makes me feel kind of bad for suspecting him in the way we did. Oh, who cares about his feelings? What matters is that we kept the vice commissioner's thinking marriage afloat. I should be going too, Pierre. I'll see you again tonight. We have plenty to discuss, so come straight home after work, understood? Yes, Nookums. And so he dons the leash yet again. Excellent work today, Triple S. We're glad that everything worked out in the end. It's a relief to know your wife wasn't being taken advantage of. That's all well and good, yes, but now I'm gonna be paying out the nose for a villa I've never even seen before. Thank the goddess we're not getting a divorce at least. I suppose we can use the new place as a weekend retreat. Margaret did seem charmed by it, for what it's worth. Yeah, man, sometimes you gotta give in and let the lady have what she wants. Besides, the funds are coming out of her own stock market earnings in the first place. Which is a whole different can of worms. How did Margaret even manage to... As if I needed another reminder of how much more capable she is than me. There's really nothing wrong with that. That's a great thing, if anything. You reap what you sow, as they say. Be that as it may, as long as I'm still a married man at the end of the day, I'm grateful. You have my thanks, Triple S. Anytime, Vice Commissioner, you can always count on us. We'll just show ourselves out now. Alright, so that was the hidden quest. Pierre's marital peril completed. Alright, now, let's check out what we can do next. But before that, let's super save. Alright, hold on a second. Let's... we're on 3 now. Alright. Oh, we can report this. I almost forgot. Okay. That taste of crossbell, the counterfeit caper, stranger danger, old mine monster. Alright, hold on a second. Let me report this quest first. Before I forget. Alright, let me double check again what we got. Alright, stranger danger. My son seems to be up to something, but he hasn't told me a thing about it. Oh, this is the one in Amorica. Stranger danger. Alright, we'll do this one first. We'll go to Amorica right now. I should have went up the garage. Hold on. Perfect.
よし行くかどこに行こうかな
Alright, Amorica.
さあ
Right here.
行くぞ到着だ
Oh, it almost feels like it's been forever since I've been here too. Alright, let's speak to Chief Tolta and find out what's what. Just what does my fool of a son think he's doing? It's concerning, yes. I believe there's a possibility he's been... Hello, Chief Tolta. You called for the special support section? Oh, and Mr. Hayworth is here too. There you all are. I've been waiting. I take it you've seen the request. Thank you for coming. Sure thing. Why are you here though, Mr. Hayworth? As it so happens, he has a stake in this particular problem as well. After talking things over, Chief Tolta and I decided it would be prudent of us to consult with the Triple S. Considering the circumstances, we thought the situation called for a professional investigation. If that's the case, this must be a serious issue. I recall the description mentioning that this had to do with your son, correct? Yes, it's a very complicated matter. I can brief you on all the details if you're ready to accept the request. Is now a good time? Of course. We're ready to help Chief Tolta tell us everything we need to know. Thank you, Triple S. I am in your debt once again. As for what's going on, my son, Derek, has been acting strangely recently. I get the sense he has some kind of sinister plan in the works. Sinister? Is it really that bad? Well, I don't know the details yet. As a matter of fact, I don't know what's going on through that boy's head at all. You see, not long ago, Derek told Harold that Amorica would no longer be doing business with him. Really? Why would he do that? Haven't you always been on excellent terms with the village, Mr. Hayworth? Yes, I've done my best to be kind to the people here ever since we started doing business. I came to see Chief Tolta today because I was afraid there had been some kind of misunderstanding. And let me guess, the chief here was just as out of the loop as you were. Am I right? Yes, you are. We never intended to wrong Mr. Hayworth like this. Losing a customer in him would have been a grave loss for our village. I'm sure my son is fully aware of that as well. This certainly is strange. What reason could Derek have to go over your head and make a decision like that so rashly? That's exactly what Harold and I have been discussing. In doing so, a certain questionable individual came to mind. Derek has been meeting with a foreigner from out of state recently. A foreigner? We don't have very many details on him for the moment. All we know is that he and Derek have been talking behind closed doors. Nothing so suspicious quite like a secret meeting. Quite right. As such, my request to you is to investigate this foreigner for us. If he truly is plotting some sort of nefarious scheme, we need to put a stop to it at once. I apologize if this comes off as rude, but something like this truly worth submitting a support request for? Surely the logical approach would be to simply speak with your son yourself. Don't think that's our call to Yotai. I'm embarrassed to say so, but the young lady is correct. Derek and I have been at odds on how best to run the village for a long time. I tried to confront him about this, but I could never get an answer out of him. As his father, it pains me to admit that. No wonder you decided to consult us. That about brings us up to speed. We'll begin investigating immediately. I was thinking we could try by interviewing each of the villagers. Feel free to do so. Incidentally, Derek and Elkin are delivering produce to the city right now. You may be better off speaking with them last. Thank you for looking into the Triple S. Oh, sorry. Thank you for looking into this Triple S. I hope you can get to the bottom of things. We'll do everything we can, Mr. Hayworth. Stranger danger started. Alright, so the goal is to interview everyone, huh? Alright, let's talk to... Nope. I always forget where the inn is. Right here. Excuse me, I have a few questions for you. Lloyd asked about the foreigner who's been visiting Amorica Village recently. Oh, the man who's been staying here on and off? Well, he's pleasant enough to be around. Very polite at that. Polite, huh? I see. And would you happen to know this man's name? Let me think. I believe it was Minith. Or at least that's what he wrote in the guest registry. Minith. At least we have a name to work with now. Is there anything else you can tell us about this individual? Well, he wasn't too chatty, so there's not much to tell. He did call Derek up to his room a couple of times to talk about something or another. That's pretty much all I know. Sounds like the secret meeting Chief told us been worrying over. Yeah, not the most game-changing information, but it's something. Thank you for your help. Not a problem. I'm happy to be of service. But if you really want to thank me, why don't you order some food while you're here? Maybe later. Alright, how about we go through... Alright, went to the inn. Let's go to the business end of things. So, next would be... Rior. There's been a guy in the village lately who's dressed in the nines. He told Gramps that I was such a capable lad. Of course, Gramps was thrilled. I could tell he was just flattering me, though. Anything else to say? You should have seen how happy Gramps looked when that guy complimented me. I could tell it was just flattery, though. Okay, cool. Do I need to buy anything? What do you have? Straw hat, racing flags. Didn't I get that far already? I think I got that far. We're good. I completed all of Noelle's decorations for her room. Alright, let's talk to this person here then. The foreigner who's been coming by is quite a cheerful fella. He's never without a smile. Something about it really puts me at ease. Excuse me, I have a few questions for you. Lloyd asked about the foreigner who's been visiting Morocco village recently. Oh, him. Well, if I had to describe the man, I might say considerate. Considerate? Can you elaborate? Once he was passing by the children as they were playing and they accidentally got his clothes dirty. Rather than raise a fuss, he paid it no mind. In fact, he even gave them some candy. I don't decide whether to thank, compliment, or apologize to him. He had me speechless. Interesting. Well, thanks for your time. Oh, wow. Okay, one more person. Excuse me, I have a few questions for you. Lloyd asked about the foreigner who's been visiting a Morocco village recently. Oh, him. He's got a keen eye, I can tell you that much. What do you mean by that? Well, that man's become infatuated with our honey. He was raving about being a surefire hit that he could sell across the entire continent. Sell across the entire continent? What is he, a trader or something? I've never heard him outright say it, but that seems likely. With discerning taste like that, I'm sure he's already made a name for himself. I'd be thrilled if my grandson were to follow his example. Is that so? Well, now we know the dude is some kind of merchant. That's good information to have. Thank you for your help. Not a problem. Feel free to talk to me again anytime. I think that was the last guy then. Okay, we have more info to go off of now that we've spoken to the villagers. This man is named Minith, and he's believed to be a foreign merchant. He's supposedly a kind man as well. The type that's courteous, patient, and caring with kids. On the other hand, we don't know why he's here in the first place, and that's suspicious in and of itself. You make a good point. Yes, we never did learn of a motive in any of those conversations. The biggest thing that stands out is him talking with the village chief's son in secret that doesn't pass the smell test. I'm inclined to agree. It's incongruent with everything else we heard. I say we should follow up on that. Wait, look over by the entrance. That's Elkin, the one who went with Derek into the city. He must have just gotten back. Let's go speak with him. Up, let's do it. Excuse me, Elkin, right? We've got a couple of things we'd like to ask you. Oh yeah? What can I do for you? Let me guess, you came to ask about my shiny new orbital truck here? No, sorry to disappoint. Aw, really? But it's the Vern Company's latest model. Minith gave it to me for real cheap. Hold on just a moment. By Minith, you mean the foreigner who's been visiting the village recently, correct? Just how cheap are we talking here? Get this. I got it for the low price of just 50,000 Mira. Only 50,000 Mira? What I wouldn't give to be that lucky just once. Does the goddess have it in for me or something? Easy, Noel. I can see you turning as green as your hat. Sorry, force of habit. Moving past Noel's mechanophilia, The average market value of a new truck should be nearly 500,000 mira, which makes the amount you paid exorbitantly low. That would be a 90% discount. It sounds more like a charity than a bargain. Well, he said that the price cut was so we could make our work easier without breaking our budget. He and Derek have been working out some sort of plan. I guess it's coming along. That minute, I tell you, my hat's off to him. Plan? Shoot, Derek said I'm not supposed to talk about it. Pretend you didn't hear that. Anyway, this minute guy's the real deal. So you say. Wait a minute. Did you come back alone, Elkin? Chief Tota said you and Derek went to the city together to deliver produce. We did, but Derek told me he'd catch a bus back to the village later. He said he had some business to take care of in the hotel in the entertainment district. Another meeting with Minute, I'm guessing. Hey Lloyd, this could be our chance. To speak with them face to face? Probably, yeah. We could head over and check things out. Thank you for speaking with us, Elkin. That was very helpful. No problem. Not that I get what you're after, but hey, good luck all the same. Alright, so I guess we head off to, where's my car? Entertainment district.
乗りますか？目的地を選んでください。お安いご用です。はい、到着しました。
Alright, let's go. Alright, they said in a Hotel Millennium. I don't know where though. Top floor? Top floor. Oh wow, okay. Alright, we'll meet up again tomorrow then. Good talking to you as always. Huh? Wait, aren't you? Pardon us. You're Derek from Memorial Village, correct? That's me. There's something I can help you with? I probably should have opened up with this, but we're with the Crossville Police Special Support Section. We have a few questions we'd like to ask. That's so. Let me guess. My father sent you here, didn't he? So you even called the police, huh? Ha! That's just rich. He had his reasons. I already know his game. He's snooping around to find out what I'm up to, right? Well, I have nothing to hide. Ask me anything you want. Not the reaction I was expecting. I'll get straight to the point then. We were told that you've been meeting in secret with a man named Minute recently. Would you mind explaining why? Whatever. It's not as though my father can do anything about it. Minute has been helping me out with a little project of sorts. It's all part of my plan to revolutionize the village. Revolutionize the village? Why would you keep something so important from your father? Well-intentioned or not, doesn't it concern him just as much as it does you? I've tried talking to my father about this kind of thing more times than I can count. All he ever has to say is that I've lost sight of our ideals and that making drastic changes won't solve anything. But if things continue the way they are, a rural village like ours has no future. Real meaningful reform is the only way for us to keep Amorca alive. My father doesn't understand that one bit. I see, and it was from there that you encountered this Minute character. Unlike my father, he's actually willing to listen to my ideas. In fact, he helped me discover a huge opportunity for our village's apiary. I plan on working with him to launch a major enterprise in the near future. You what? Can you even hear yourself right now? Mind your own beeswax, that's all I have to say to you. You got what you came for, right? I need to get back to the village if you don't mind. That was rather curt. Yeah, he totally blew us off. Hey, are any of you thinking what I'm thinking? Maybe we could try speaking with this Minute guy for ourselves. Good call. Maybe he'll give us a better idea of what that Jamoke's all about. What do you say if we show ourselves in? Here goes nothing. Who is it? I didn't know there any room service. Excuse me, we're looking for Mr. Minute. I apologize for bothering you, but we're with the Crossville Police Special Support Section. We have a couple of questions to ask you. Oh dear, you're police officers. Why didn't you say so sooner? Come in, the door's unlocked. This feels almost too easy somehow. Maybe he's more of a wheeler-dealer than we think. Alright, we're coming in. No, I really don't trust him. Look at that guy. The monocle. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I'm Minith. What brings you here today? Like I said, we have a few simple questions we'd like you to answer. Will that be alright? But of course, I would be delighted to help an officer of the law. Was there some kind of trouble in the area, perhaps? Not exactly, no. This pertains to you specifically. We want to know more about you and what brought you to Amorca Village. Could you start by telling us about yourself? Well, this is a surprise. But seeing as you're police officers, I suppose I have no reason not to cooperate. Ahem. To reiterate, my name is Minith, and I am a corporate executive. My responsibilities range from product development to sales and operations. I've been visiting Amorca Village to secure an important business deal on behalf of the Quincy Company. Did you just say the Quincy Company? Not ringing any bells personally. You heard of him, Mademoiselle Ellie? In a sense, the Quincy Company is a famous international confectioner. They're one of the most prominent names in their field. You can even get their products here in Crossbell. Yeah, that does sound familiar. I think I used to buy their chocolates as a kid. Huh. I always paid more attention to what was in the wrappers than what was on them. That's quite right, young man. I too was what one might call a brand blind in my youth. You see, despite working for the company, I'd never been one for sweets. It was my long-standing reputation as an irrefusable salesman. In fact, this led me to my current position. My apologies. I didn't mean to get us off track with my personal milestones. It's fine. We're the ones who asked. So, about the business deal with Amorca Village you mentioned. Would it happen to have anything to do with Derek, the son of the village chief? He told us that it was something to do with the future of the village. Oh, did he now? In that case, I suppose there's no sense in keeping those details under wraps. Yes, Derek and I have indeed built a strong working relationship over these past several days. We were aware of that much. Could you elaborate? But of course. The Quincy Company is constantly seeking out new opportunities to grow our confectionery business. As such, the head office tasked me with a project to that effect. Our goal is to gain a foothold from which we can expand into Crossbell. In other words, you want to establish a subsidiary of the Quincy Company here in our state? Precisely. I began my inquiry by paying a visit to the department store in the city. There I found it. Luxurious high-grade honey produced in Amorca Village. That honey is made with the lotus flowers from the village fields. I do recall Mr. Hayworth praising it for its quality. And he should. That honey is the product of nature's bounty passed down through the ages for generations. Seeing those fields was like the goddess herself showing me the way to a brand new confectionery venture. I call it the Amorican Honey Company. The Amorican Honey Company? Not exactly pushing the envelope, but I won't deny it's pretty catchy. We plan on selling candies made primarily from Amorca Village's delectable honey. But in order to do so, we will need the full cooperation of the villagers themselves. And so, I approached the incoming chief, Derek, with the most magnificent proposal. I asked if he would like to oversee the construction of the factory as well as the new business enterprise. You offered to make Derek the manager of the Quincy Company subsidiary? Naturally, my company would make full use of its sales and marketing expertise. The fields too would be overseen by our staff. We don't want to cause trouble for the villagers after all. On the contrary, we wish to only ease their life's burdens. Where do you intend on building the factory though? After discussing a great many possibilities, I've settled on utilizing the village's private property on Old Amorca Road. Since it was only ever been used for storage, Derek was readily willing to agree to the arrangement. No doubt almost anybody would be under those terms, especially with how keen Derek is on revolutionizing the village. Everyone comes out a winner, isn't that just swell? So glad you understand. In my eyes, Derek's talents and strong sense of responsibility are more than enough to qualify him for the position. With that, I've divulged all that I can. Does that answer your questions? It does. Thanks for your cooperation. I think we have a much better grasp of what's going on in the village now. Is there anything in particular that you would like to discuss further? Not at the moment, no. Sorry to take up your time. We'll be going now. No problem at all, officers. Come again anytime. Please take care. I'll say he knows how to talk, though. Where do we even begin? This is quite the plan they put together. Evidently, Minith is more shrewd a man than we took him for. The whole spiel took some untangling, but it sounds like it could pay off big time. Seems too good to be true, honestly. At any rate, I think we've got all the answers we're looking for. Yeah, let's head back to Amorca Village. Chief Tota's gonna want to hear about this. I don't believe this. Minith is with the Quincy company? And then there's this whole American honey company business? This is quite an extensive plan they have, and it involves building a factory on the village's private property, no less. Never did I take Derek as the type to pursue something like this. Has Derek returned to the village yet, by the way? That's right, I don't believe I've seen him around. He said he'd be returned to the village when we ran into him at the hotel. Well, I must confess that Derek doesn't come home very often these days. Instead, he's been renting a room for himself at the Ashtray Inn. I understand Minth has been staying there as well. Perhaps that was Derek's reason for relocating. That way, his plans to industrialize our land could proceed without my knowing. What a shameful excuse for a father I am. I wouldn't be so sure about that. What if moving into the Ashtray was actually Minth's idea rather than Derek's? Maybe it was him who was trying to keep you from catching wind of what's going on. What do you mean? I'll let our dashing leader here handle the details. Ignoring the first part, I'll do my best to explain. Is there something more to this than we realize, Lloyd? Keep in mind that I'm only speculating, but I have my suspicions about this Minth character. What do you mean? The plan he laid out for us would supposedly benefit everyone involved. Amarka Village gains a new industry while the Quincy Company gains a subsidiary in a market they want to expand in. At a glance, all seems well and good. Almost too good to be true, don't you think? Well, now that you mention it. As another point of concern, consider the ridiculously low price at which the Minith sold a new oval truck to Elkin. In this context, we can think of it as an upfront investment. An orbital truck isn't something you gift to someone at random, not at the prices they go for. I've never heard of one selling for only 50,000 mira until now. What you two are getting at is that he knows he's gonna make that mira back, doesn't he? That's very strange indeed. A company as large as Quincy wouldn't normally invest this much capital into an unproven startup. They wouldn't, would they? I don't like where this is headed. It leads me to believe that Minith has an ulterior motive, one that's guaranteed to make him a profit. This is all just conjecture, of course, but I would still suggest that you keep what we're saying in mind. I will. We'll have to be very careful about how we approach this matter. And kudos on the fine investigative work, Triple S. I feel as though I finally understand what's going on here. Thank you for the help. Happy to, Chief Tolta. Are you saying you can handle it from here? We can continue investigating if you like. That's alright. You've done more than enough for now. As soon as I heard about their plans to build a factory on our property, I knew I could never support such a thing. I'll have to speak with Derek later and try to persuade him, not just as his father, but as a chief. Perhaps that would be for the best. We'll be excusing ourselves then. Don't hesitate to follow up with us if there's anything else we can do. Of course, I will be sure to call on you again if the need arises. Alright, another one done. Let's get out of here. Alright guys, if anything, I'm going to end it here for today. Thank you all for watching. When we come back, I'm going to follow through on the last half of the other requests, and then finally, on to the main story as per usual. So if anything else, thank you again, and I'll see you all in the next one.